following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Listening to The Adventure and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for The Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Yo! Happy Monday, Motivational Monday here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, W4CY.com. We're going to have a special guest, but she's not here yet. So let's bring the pipe nuts on so I can maybe say something that I tried to say before you hit live. Bring them on. Literally, I got on and I told you don't start yet, and you started yet because you went so fast. Because our guest isn't here. So take me out of the studio. Rebel, you talk about what day it is, and I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. So we figured that we were going to start. We were going to start it regardless because we didn't have notification, but we never know. But today, first of all, welcome to the Adventures of Pipeman here on W4CY.com, W4CY Radio, Talk 4 Media, all that good stuff. Thank you for joining us here. And what is today? Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. Today is National Tortilla. Am I saying that right? Tortilla. I don't know. I guess we Americanized it. Tortilla. National Tortilla Chip Day. Now, I went to the store and I was going to bring some tortilla chips, but I didn't have anything to go with them. So I was going to get Doritos, and I don't think that's the same thing.
It is not.
It is not. See, good thing I didn't get them. It's also National Trading Card Day. You guys, oh my goodness, you remember trading cards like Pokemon cards and Magic cards.
It's still a thing.
It is still a thing, and they're worth quite a lot of money for some of them, actually. It's also, hey, some of you probably have a favorite one, World Bartender Day. How many of you have a favorite bartender? You might need to get some help with that. Anyway,
it's the modern day therapists.
Modern day therapist. Hey, look.
Wait a minute. You say need help, okay? But I don't drink. Juan, fix us. I don't drink, and I have favorite bartenders. As a matter of fact, when I was living more in Wellington instead of just studio in Wellington, I knew all the bartenders. That might have been because Thing 2 was an alcoholic. I'm not sure. But no, seriously, I would get water or cranberry juice and tip them like $50, and they were my best friends. And I'm saying that because you need to learn how to treat bartenders, servers. I just had this whole argument with somebody, and I think it's something we'll talk about on the Pipe Peeve on Wednesday, or maybe even tomorrow, because it has to do with travel. But there's a lot going on with tipping, and there's a lot of assholes when it comes to tipping, and there's a lot of people that don't understand. And if you're on a date, since we're talking about relationships today, if you're on a date, okay, then if you're a cheap tipper, that doesn't look good. I'm just saying. Tip your bartenders, tip your servers, because they don't even make minimum wage. Everybody's arguing about minimum wage. They make like $1 an hour, okay? Or something stupid like that. And
I am also a believer that, like the tip should be reflected on the level of service.
I do believe that.
They're like very, very nasty with you, or they don't want to give you what you want. They're in a bad mood.
I believe that too. And I believe, if you're in the service industry, you should have a certain personality, because people are assholes and you're going to have to deal with those assholes. Okay. But in the same token, that's like saying also, like, I think tips on the way up above a minimum, yes. If server's really bad where you would get a refund at a store, yes. But it's kind of like saying you have an employee that they did their job with, if you were to grade them, a D or a C, and so you lowered their hourly rate. You wouldn't be able to do that as a boss. You'd either have to get rid of them or continue paying them the same rate. So my point is there, if somebody's a total asshole, totally agree with you. If service is horrific, totally agree with you. And I agree with you if service is perfect on the way up. Okay. So give more of a tip if they're better. Give more of a tip if they go out of their way. Give more of a tip if they're super nice to you. But you should they say, and I never tip this unless somebody's bad, the minimum is 15%. So here's my thing. If somebody's bad, not super bad and not like I want to punch them in the face, bad, they get 15%. But my dad taught me something a long time ago that you would love, Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in a casino in Atlantic City, and we had this server. He was about, I don't know, 5'0" with the same kind of attitude. He was like the Chihuahua of humans. And
Wow.
I mean, this dude was like the worst server in history. I remember it so clearly. I was a little kid. That's how much of an impression it made on me. I mean, and he was a total asshole to my dad. Total asshole. So my dad, who was always a big tipper and taught me how to tip, he goes, let me teach you something else now. He goes, here's Christine, bring her on.
Sorry.
You're coming way of a story, but
Sorry,
it's okay.
babe.
It's
Sorry.
okay. You're here. And that's all that counts. And we didn't start without you. We just started without you. Okay. So we didn't start with your part yet. But I got to finish this story. Somehow we got into tipping. I kind of made it related to relationships by saying if you go out on a date and you give a cheap tip, it's going to be a reflection. You probably won't get a second date. But, okay, we were on some other discussion that I'm going to finish. So back to you, Juan. Okay. And you, Rebel. And you can listen too, Christine. Okay. But my dad, you didn't hear the whole thing, so you don't have the context. But so we were sitting at Atlantic City, as I was saying, and my dad always taught me how to be a great tipper. But he taught me something new this night when I was a little kid. We're in, I think it was Trump Plaza, actually, or something like that. And then this snotty server that I was probably, I don't know, 10, and I wanted to punch him in the face myself. Okay. And my dad was an alcoholic gambler, so we're lucky he didn't punch him in the face. Okay. Because I've seen that happen. But, okay, this dude did deserve to get punched in the face, just saying. So my dad afterwards, he says, let me teach you something. If you don't like the server's service and they're a total asshole like this person, don't not tip them. Okay. So a lot of people will just not tip at all. He said, tip them a penny. That way they know you didn't forget.
I've done that before.
Okay.
That's funny.
See, well, we might be related, Juan. I don't know.
And he wasn't even like, you know how like they have the card thing where it's like you can add the tip on the receipt. No,
Yeah.
It was an actual penny.
Nice.
Okay, now I have to ask
That's
you
a
this.
rare occasion that you would ever use that.
I've only done it once. Yeah.
Exactly. I've never had to do it myself, but I was witness to my dad do it, who my dad would give somebody $200 tip on a $50 bill. Okay. That's where I learned it. I rarely drink. Okay. And I go to bars and order a water and tip like $50 right off the bat. That server will give me anything I want after that. In fact, going back to relationships before I introduce our guest, okay, thing two, by the way, so you know, Christine, you might not remember from last time, but thing one and thing two are my ex-wives, okay?
Right.
If you're new to listening to this show, thing one and even thing one, if you ever meet thing one, she will introduce herself. You probably know me as thing one, okay? And so, but thing two, both of them were alcoholics, but thing two was, she used to drink like 15 margaritas a night. Okay, every night, not on a rare occasion, not a special occasion, like just if we went to the bar. Okay, and then wondered why she had colitis, but that's another story. Okay, and so, but what used to happen is because I was friends with all these bartenders in Wellington, because I tipped them so much all the time without even ordering a drink, my bill always came out to $8 for 15 margaritas. $8. Because listen, people, don't be cheap with the server. You want to be cheap with the restaurant? Go right ahead. But you know what? I'd rather give the money to the server than the restaurant any day of the week. And we're going to talk more about this probably on Wednesday, on What the Fuck Wednesday on the Adventures in Pipeman, because something happened this weekend in that realm. But now we're on Motivational Monday, so there's no what the fucks here. Well, maybe there will be. Okay, because we have the renowned expert of bullshit. Okay, world-renowned expert of bullshit. Okay, and we're not talking just regular bullshit. Okay, this is bullshit in dating. 50 shades of bullshit. So I'd like to welcome to the show Christine LaLonde.
Thank you. What an intro.
I know, right?
Right.
I just thought about it right now. Like I didn't even know what I was going to say till right now.
On the fly. What a man.
Okay, and the pipe nuts over here. That swamp knot over there.
Yay.
She probably has very different dating stories than you or I do, because she's in the bayou swamps of Louisiana. Okay, and
she's got great ones. I love her.
Yeah, they still do something in the woods with pigs. I don't know, but anyway, and then we have studio nut up there, Juan, who Juan, but you don't really know him by face usually. Okay, he's
only on your show.
Person behind the scenes, and so Juan will give you're our resident expert in bullshit dating, and he's our resident expert in Hispanic dating for today.
Well, I have some I have some experience in Hispanic dating too. So
me too. Okay. But I think I have a better experience from what I understand. Okay. So the reason why a gringo like me gets a lot of Latino women is because they're so sick of the machismo, blah, blah, blah. Little do they know they have Pipeman, but that's besides the point. Okay. And then on your side, what has your experience been?
With the Latin men?
Yeah, and let's see. We'll ask Juan if that's how he is.
I fucking love dark men. I think
Okay.
Hispanic men are amazing. They're just, well, I don't like the chismo macho thing that you're talking about, but I do like the solid confidence in an Asian man. Oh my God. And a Hispanic man.
He's all over the place.
I don't care.
He's the world-renowned expert in dating from every culture.
Right? I have dated every culture, so I am good to go there.
Nice. You're ahead of me. I have it on my list, but I still have a few more to check off.
Oh, you have a culture bucket list for dating?
Well, all 206 countries. Yes, at least one from every country in the world is my goal before I die.
All right, there we go. That's a goal.
I'm at about 197.
There you go.
And that includes Thing too, because she was British. Okay. So Juan, is what she's saying true? Are you guys amazing? I can't speak for that. I can only speak for the Latino women. Are you guys amazing to date?
Here's what I can say. Latino men are very passionate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think all Latinos, both men and women, are. That's what I love about them. Just passionate about life in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Passionate in every way.
Okay. So can you give us more details on that, please? As our roving reporter reporting live from our studios in Wellington, which I was going to say our studios in Mexico, but it's more Argentina in Wellington. There's more Argentina, Brazilian, like that in Wellington. But go ahead.
Here's what I can say. I don't know about the machismo thing. I think that's more like older generations of Latino men. I
That's
think
why I wanted
the
you to
new
jump
ones,
in.
like the new generations are starting to sway away from that and being more, you know, aligned with their partners. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm experiencing. Like, definitely like in my own family, like the men before me were very traditional, very like, men hold a position in the family and no one can take it away from them. Whereas like now that I see like my cousins, myself, like and everyone else is more like we are equal partners and we should try to work together to have a better life rather than, hey, this is your line, do not cross it.
See, I love that's why I asked you and that's why we love having Juan on the show because I'm so sick of hearing stuff from the old people that don't know what they're talking about today. Like that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, you mean our current government? Oh, sorry.
Something like that. Yes. But that's for Wednesday when we talk about the 51st state. We talked about that last week. You missed that episode where we made fun of the fact we had a Canadian on the show. So we could talk about the 51st state. I can't even believe, since you brought that up, I just have to say it real quick, how after that hockey game, the White House press secretary had to put that in her speech. Like that was uncalled for, stupid, unprofessional. And I'm sorry, but stop poking fun at our neighbors who you're just pissing off. Okay. Because they're never going to become the 51st state. And that's going to be more on Wednesday, though. But Juan, I'm so happy you're here to give us the younger perspective because things are changing, thankfully, in that department. And how men treat, and because you know what? It's hard on us nice guys when you have a bunch of jerk off machismos that, get in your way that you want to punch them out. But the women are just like, ooh, because that's what that was my experience with Thing One, at least, and many others. But Thing One for sure is like, you're too nice. I'm going to break up with you.
Yeah,
But
I've had that discussion before. Like that whole like, I don't know, you're really nice, but you're not the one for me. Like I'm looking for a nice guy, but you're too nice.
yeah, I've had the
Like I've
too
had
nice
that
Women
my
want
whole
before.
an
life.
edge.
Yeah, I've had
Women,
the too nice all my life. But there's a happy medium, right, Christine?
yeah, I think that, you guys say, you've heard too nice all your life. It's because, women as they're younger don't really appreciate and understand what nice means.
Mm.
They've got the wrong conception of it. They think that nice means that you're just going to roll over and let them walk all over you and just like bow to them, and they're like, what? They want a challenge, they want control. They want a man to step up and really be I don't want to say dominant or controlling, but in a sense, stronger than the woman, because a lot of women
They want
can
him to be a
really
man.
exactly. So I
Oh
think
well,
when
don't get
women
Rebel
are
started, okay? Because Rebel is the epitome of like what we're talking about right now. She's from Louisiana, so she, she likes people that are. She's probably like Thing One. Thing One was like, I want a guy that's gonna wear the tool belt on his waist and do work on the house. And that is
And
cool,
yet so many
except
men
her
can't do
reference.
that these days.
Well, here's the reference to it. It was, I'll give you the rest of the statement. Instead of somebody taking me to Paris for the weekend for our anniversary, like I am not kidding you. I would have rather you put a tool belt on and be somebody and went out and mowed the lawn. While I paid somebody to mow the lawn and took her to Paris for the weekend for her anniversary.
Mm.
But that's
That'll
part
be a
of
new one.
knowing the partner that you're with. I mean,
right,
maybe she
right, right,
didn't
right.
want Paris. I don't want to go to Paris.
Well,
I could
well,
give two shits.
I
I don't want to
do.
go to
Well-
Paris, Texas, or France.
I would. So
Well, I think there's more to it. Go ahead, Christine. Sorry.
the thing that is though is that when women are younger, they don't know what they want. They haven't been seasoned yet. They haven't
Is
experienced
younger
life.
40 years old? I'm just curious.
Well, some women grow, some
That's
women
when she
don't.
said that.
Well,
She was referring to the past. Like she
this
already knew. It was
This is the thing,
nice.
though, D. This thing, Pipeman. I almost called you another name.
I know. Who the hell
Sorry
is
about
that?
I
Who the
don't
hell
know.
is that
Well,
asshole?
that's who's supposed to be here for Motivational Monday.
Right?
Yeah,
So
kind of. But I'm still Pipeman.
this is the thing. People get upset and freaked out that, oh, this person said I wasn't this, or I was that, or I was too much this. All that is signs that they're not the right person. And the universe is saying, hey, this is not the right person for you. Keep moving. They're
Agreed.
going to tell you.
Agreed.
So you're going to find
Sometimes
the
they
person.
don't tell you though.
Right.
That's the
Unfortunately, people
problem.
don't
Because
know how to
some people don't
communicate.
know.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
how
and
can they tell you what they don't know?
Okay, so you're telling me, Rebel, you could be married to somebody for 12 years and not know that you don't want to be with somebody that's romantic, even though every guy you dated before and every guy you dated after was not romantic. You wouldn't know that.
I
How
think
would
it
you
takes
know?
growth.
You've never experienced it before. It's all of a matter of what you think you want.
Mhm.
It's human nature to want what you don't have.
Does it
Right.
take
But
you
you
12
can't
years to
define it.
figure that out?
Right.
Some people can't define
Sometimes
it.
ever.
Yeah,
Some
that's
people
true.
just can't.
I agree
Just
with
He-
that.
And
here's
then when they
where-
get it, they don't want it because that's not what they wanted, because they still don't have the definition of what they actually want.
Well, that's where Christine is right, because I'm smarter now that I'm older, that like in like literally anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 dates, I know this person's not for me. Whereas when I was younger, it was like, or what you think you want, because like what I think I want now is not what I wanted when I was younger, because like,
Exactly.
I already returned that damaged merchandise.
So my
Well-
my experience, and I think Christine can probably give us a better understanding, a more in-depth perspective on this. In my experience, it wasn't so much about like I don't know what I want. It was more so done in a way that it felt more like I don't think I deserve this, so I should be with like something
That's a
more
big
toxic.
one. That is a big
Yeah.
one for all of us,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
males and females, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Well, people don't understand that with life, there is things that's going to happen to us, trauma, uh, crazy experiences that shape what we think and how we feel. And we live in a society where people are growing up not having self-worth. They don't care about themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't even know how to. So when someone comes along and is really good to them, what they call nice, what they call,
Mhm.
just considerate, sweet, loving, caring. But, I'm pretty fucking sure you guys have your own edges. They just don't see that because they don't think that
Yeah,
they
it's not the
they
same
deserve
edge.
it.
It's not the
Right.
same edge as somebody that's compatible to you, because I always did have an edge. Like I'm a metalhead, okay, and a
Right.
punker, okay. But I also, going back to certain things, and the difference between my generation and Juan's generation is, I grew up with how you're supposed to treat a woman,
Mhm.
but I don't know that was necessarily the right information. That
Mhm.
I think they're more clear about it nowadays of how that is. And I'm big into communication. I always say proper communication. There's a
Right.
big
Yeah.
difference between communication and proper communication. And
Right.
we are different. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. It's definitely true. But there's also exceptions. Like in my marriage to Thing One, I was more Venusian, she was more Martian. And that's something you have to understand too, is not just a blanket generic statement, but that person specifically. What are they like? And that's where the biggest problem is, because I think in the case with Thing One, and she would probably say it too, it's not that she didn't figure it out. It's that and the deserve probably, but also the fact of, there's two things. One is you kind of think you're going to be what you think they want you to be.
Mhm.
And then that doesn't hold too well, because it's not really you, or
Correct.
it's something you want to be or you want to have.
Mhm.
And that happens too. And then there's also the case of the fact of, like Christine said, is there has to be a little bit of an edge somewhere. And sometimes guys, when they're totally smitten for women, they forget that they were an asshole. Okay, to be blunt about it. It's like they meet certain people and they forget to be that confident guy, and they end up that weak guy that's a turnoff. It happens both ways too. If women, even if you're the nice guy, if women are too nice to you, you either A, are kind of grossed out by it, or you don't trust them. And that's
I
another
think
thing. You won't
I-
trust
yeah.
a too nice guy sometimes if you're a
I
woman.
think it's a matter of perspective, in both ways. Like for example, for a guy, it's, or for a woman, it's if the other person's too nice, if they're treating you right and you feel like you don't deserve that, then some people say like, oh, I don't deserve that, I should gravitate towards something more toxic,
Mhm.
when they should
Yeah.
be using the perspective of, I don't deserve this, what can I do to earn it, right?
Mm.
And
Mhm.
then we go into the whole, man being a leader and stuff, like Rebel said, a real man. I think for a man, like at least for myself, I know that I'm not a good leader at everything. So if I know that she's better at some areas in life than myself, then I'll
Mhm.
let her lead in those areas. I think as a man, it's more beneficial to the relationship than to say, no, I'm the leader. Even if I take us down, like even if the ship goes down with me,
Mhm.
I'm taking us there. Instead of saying that, I'm saying, you take the lead on this one. I'm out of my depth. It's all you.
I think it's
Well,
also exciting when a dude is like not super nice guy to a woman. What do you think, Christine?
I'm in a completely different place in my life now.
Yes,
I
you
I
are, but do you think
understand.
that happens?
Well, yeah, because of this is the thing. When I was younger, I didn't know what goodness was. I come from an abusive background. So for me, toxic was the norm, and
Yeah.
kindness and being good to me and catering to me and being a man to me was terrifying. I had no idea what it meant. So as I grew in my life and learned and changed and got self-help and self-love and self-respect and grew within myself, that's when I started to realize toxic was just toxic, and kindness and generosity and communication. And the things that Juan is saying is, you put in 100% in the relationship and I put in 100% of the relationship, and we ebb and flow where we need to. That's a solid real relationship with a
No doubt.
well-rounded person. But a lot of people can't get there. They're so hung and clutching that past and that trauma that they cannot look past it.
A
So
lot
they
of
can't
Or
times,
get
it's a comfort zone. Because like
yeah.
in what
right.
Juan said, I think is absolutely true. And I see it with my brother. My brother and my sister-in-law have been married for like 40 years. They
Mhm.
still look like they're more in love now than the day one. They're still all
Uh-huh.
like, you know, hold hands. They do everything. They have the same hobbies, but they also have individual stuff. Like they both love
Mhm.
going to gym, and they go actually to separate gyms because they do separate things, but they also join in that loving of the gym. They run a business together.
Mhm.
And to Juan's point, she has her strengths, he has his, and that's what they focus on. He handles one part of the business, she handles the other part of the business. Now, to your point, because I'm more on your page, Christine, like I come from serious toxicity. And the fact of the matter is that I got my beliefs kind of from like La La Land on television type of thing,
Mhm.
too. So that Prince Charming syndrome is actually not a great thing. That's what I learned later in life. Okay. So when I was younger, like I used to like it made me feel good to be that way, not just with women, with everybody. It's like that being a saver, the codependent bullshit. But here's what I was really doing is I was covering up for all the things I was not getting from anybody else and giving it to other people. And because you're so focused on that, you forget about what you're missing until you end up alone in a situation where people should be around you. And that's when you finally figure out that, wow, all these years I haven't even noticed that because I've been doing for everybody else. And then you start to learn that, maybe it's not so healthy to be that way. Maybe it is more healthy to, like, as Juan is putting it, the way I read it is the instruction manual, like knowing each other and talking to each other and figuring things out and who's good at what, and like kind of that proper communication.
But
I
that changes as you go. It's not a one set contract in the beginning and it never changes. You have to change and grow with each other, or it's going to be staled out and stalled anyway.
So that's true for everything in life, right? I mean, like,
Right.
especially with relationships. Relationships require work. It's hard. It's everyday work. The work never ends. But as long as you're working together, like, there's nothing that's gonna stop you. What I've seen, like, recently in relationships in general, is it becomes kind of like a fight for power. Whereas old school relationships, the man holds all the power, the woman has to submit, and she doesn't have a vote.
Patriarchy, maybe.
Well,
And the new
now let's go to
generation,
the extreme with that.
the new generation is more like they're fighting to see who holds the power. The woman wants all the power, the man wants all the power, and it's a never-ending conflict. Where it should be, we're sharing the power. If you're stronger than me in certain areas, then you take the lead, or I'll take the lead in these other areas. It's not about who holds the power, but rather than if we come together and we work together, where can we go from here? Because you guys have the same goal, right? Like, if you have opposing goals, then you shouldn't be together, first of all.
And here's the extreme of that, okay? This is one of the things today that confuses guys. I can't tell you how many times, it's been many times, I've held a door open for a woman walking into a restaurant or a store and got
It
yelled
offends
at,
them
and
now.
got yelled at for it.
Yeah.
Where I have
So
lit a
Simple thank you.
offered to light a cigarette. Where I've offered to light a cigarette, and it's like, here's the answer you get. I can light it myself. I can open the door myself. Well, of course you can. I didn't think you're incapable.
I got you on this. I got you this.
Good,
I got
good.
you on this, Pipeman. Okay.
Let's hear from the expert of bullshit, because I think that's bullshit.
Listen, don't forget that every person is shaped and formed, their opinions, their way of being, by their past, how they've been treated, what they've gone through. We don't know what those women have gone through. Maybe they've been sexually assaulted. Maybe you resemble somebody that has done something in their life to them. We don't know what another person has been through. So when we do something kind for them, remember, they may never have had somebody be kind to them. So when they have a door open, sometimes women are like, wait, you know what? I don't need you to be that person for me. I need to be that person myself, but they don't know how to communicate that any better. So we have to give people grace, and that's the problem with this world right now. We think that if other people don't believe, think, and feel, behave the way we expect them to, then there's a problem. But this is the thing: we need to remember that somebody has gone through something. It could have been 5 minutes before, Pipeman. Sheesh. It could have been 5 minutes before that somebody was a real fucking dick to them, and it could have been a man, it could have been a woman, it could have been anybody, but then they turn around and are like, you know what? I can do it for myself.
That is true.
I get that. So what I try to do in my life every day, I allow men to open doors for me, be kind, and be all these things. And I very, very specifically look them in the eye and say, thank you so much. That was very kind. And I truly appreciate it. I say it constantly over and over and over, because we do need people who are healed and healing to try to extend that. As a quick example, just really quick. I was out one day and this person treated me so bad, and it just did nothing but set me off. I was pissed. I was irritated. I thought, what the hell? I walk into the bank. I hate going into the bank anyway. There's never enough tellers. There's too long of a lines. People are rude, whatever. So I get up to the counter and they were not doing for me what I needed. And it's like, it wasn't difficult. please just hear me. And I was really snippy and rude and short to the teller woman because some fucking asshole just did it to me. And I
Well,
saw the look on her face, and I stopped and I went, oh my God. I literally started shaking, and I said, I am incredibly sorry. Please understand that I need to apologize to you. My bullshit piled onto you, and you're about to go spread garbage into the world because I just gave you garbage. So I had to stop and say to her, someone just treated me shitty. I took it personally. I rolled it onto you, and my apologies. And I've never seen someone brighter smile, try to help me more than what she was.
Yeah.
And it's something that people don't realize, that we think everybody's going to think the same way as us because we're logical, we think on a different space, but that's coming from people who are healed, and most of the world is not healed, and nor
That's true.
knows
Yeah.
that they need to heal.
Ugh.
They think that they're just within their bubble and everybody
Yeah.
else is treating them this way, but they don't realize that they are also projecting out what they're getting.
And some people gave them people a license to be assholes, which I am so freaking sick of. Like, I mean, listen, you can have your opinions, you can have your beliefs. That doesn't mean you have to be an asshole about it, about every single thing. If I say something's blue and you're like, you're a fucking idiot, it's really light blue, you don't really know what you're talking about. That's the world we live in right now. That's what we need to
It's
heal. Did I tell
Yeah.
you the story, Christine, about having to do with this same thing of forget it. We'll move on.
Well, see, this is the thing, Dean. A
Pipeman.
lot of damn it, Pipeman. Why the hell? I'm just never going to call you that other name again. Okay, my bad.
Well, you know what happens is when because I go through this too, okay? I meet women as Pipeman,
Yeah.
and they when I introduce them to Dean, they want Pipeman. It's really, really frustrating,
I'm
okay?
sorry.
But
My bad.
here's what I was gonna say. Did I tell you the story about my best friend, one of my best friends from high school? She was going through a divorce and they went to a therapist. Did I tell you that story, or did we talk about that last time
You
you were on?
did.
So there's
Mhm.
a perfect example of like we need to have that's why communication is so important. Let's find out how somebody communicates. Everybody communicates different. If you're with somebody, find out how they communicate so you know how to communicate with them and vice versa. And I think that will avoid a lot of problems. And
I
speaking of, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say a lot of people don't understand what communication means. It
Right.
means taking a moment to hear, listen, process, and have conversations. Not so many people are not heard or felt like they're not being heard. So what they're doing is they're taking that frustration and they're automatically assuming the next person's not going to hear them.
It's
So
also understanding their language and how to translate it. The way I look at it is like it's no different than if you don't know Spanish and you're listening to people talking Spanish. It doesn't matter what they're saying because you have no clue what they're talking about, no matter what, no matter how intently you listen to them. And, but if you understood their language and what they were speaking, then you would. And I think that's the key, understanding the other person's
right.
language. And I think that's one of the big problems
Mm.
with online dating.
Right.
Like, oh my God, we need to talk about this for a bit because I've had experiences recently that I'm just like, oh my God, I've been doing this online dating crap since 2004. It was great in the beginning. Okay. And then
What's it though?
well, it was though, because like when I first started doing it, people did speak the right way. I did go out on normal dates. A lot of the bullshit that I experience now, I didn't experience then, or you could see it very easily. Like, you know, you have to know what people's motives are, what there is, or it's like so much to comprehend on this online dating crap because like 99% of the people you talk with on there, even if you talk at length for weeks, you will never meet in real life because nobody wants to go out in the world.
Yeah, we're really busy these days. Also, it's extremely expensive to live in this fucking country.
It's
So people are working 2, 3, 4 jobs. They're raising kids on their own. You know, they're just trying to get through this. There's a lot of drama and trauma happening in our country, and there's a lot of things. Also, we got to remember there's 4 of us right now. And if we all looked at one thing, each one of us could see various shades of colors, different words we would hear, different feelings it would evoke, because we all come
Would it
from
be 50
different
Shades?
cultures. You're right, because we all come from different backgrounds and different experiences and different thought patterns and different communication, ways. And so when we do start to meet people who, we don't know yet, and there's so many factors to think in that you're never going to get to, people are going to think alike exactly. And when you do start to get a little bit of that, you have to learn to think, oh my gosh, okay, do I want happiness, joy, and love in my life? Or do I want to continue to bitch and moan and keep looking and looking and looking and looking? People got to do the work at some point.
Yeah, and with the online dating, what I'm talking about is some of these people, that's just the way. I had a woman just literally yesterday that said, let's get to know each other for the next few months and then we'll meet. And it's
I
like,
hate that. It's
yeah,
annoying. I don't have time for
no.
this shit.
And I did. I'm like, no, I'm not wasting my time for months without meeting somebody. That's not a relationship. But I have to interrupt this for a second for 2 reasons. One is because I want you, Christine, to tell everybody who you are, how they contact you, how they connect you on socials, and how they watch and listen to your show, 50 Shades of Bullshit. And then I'm going to run a TikTok that you're going to absolutely love, that we're all going to comment on to see if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Go, Christine.
Well, I'm a host on 50 Shades of Bullshit. My co-host is Jada, who is a matchmaker and a dating coach. And we talk about modern dating, finding love, and finding yourself. You can find us live every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time through K4HD Radio, Facebook, and wherever else you listen. Each week, our little swamp nut there is always telling me new people are listening from somewhere. But we're also on every podcast network. You listen everywhere you listen to podcasts. And we're here to either motivate you, make you laugh, or cringe. Who cares?
I like the cringe part. And I just want to say that you guys got to check her out and check her show out. Her show's a lot better than mine, number one. Number two, she does have all the knowledge on 50 Shades of Bullshit. I just have shit. Okay. So on that note, exactly. Anyhow, I'm going to run it. Nobody here, not even my pipe nuts, know what's about to happen next. Okay.
Uh-oh. I do.
But yeah, Juan peaked.
Juan's in the know.
And I am going to play a video right now, and I want to have everybody's vote on it. Ready?
Couples can now make love inside Disney World. Disney has just added love nests to the Magic Kingdom. For only $200 an hour, you can rent out one of these exclusive private rooms where couples can make love with a view of Cinderella Castle. There is a maximum limit of 6 people per nest. However, if you want to have more than 6 people with you, you must pay an extra $50 per person. In order to maintain your privacy, there is a double-sided mirror which allows you to see Cinderella Castle and the rest of the Magic Kingdom, but doesn't allow anyone else to see inside. This is important for the people in the room making love, as well as the people walking around Disney World, especially since there are so many kids. Naturally, Disney chose Valentine's Day to launch these brand new love nests. However, not everyone is in love with this idea. In fact, many parents think that it's gross that Disney would allow these rooms inside their park. This, of course, is because it's a park for families. Meanwhile, proponents of this say that it's about time Disney allows people to make love inside their theme parks. Disney adults feel before Disney was violating their First Amendment rights. For more on these love nests, click the link in our bio or visit mousetrapnews.com.
That's real, okay? That's not bullshit, okay? So first of all, I'm going to answer as both Dean and Pipeman, 2 separate answers.
Thanks, okay.
Okay? Dean, when I first saw that, I'm like, fuck, not Disney. I mean, like, this is like the hourly motels in West New York on the Jersey side of the Hudson, where you get, or right down the street from me on Broadway, the hourly hotels where you get your prostitutes. I don't know. I don't think an hourly place in Disney is the thing to do. And also I read more into it, and basically you're supposed to go there and have your sex while your kids are roaming the park. So not good with that either. Now Pipeman, on the other hand, says, fuck yeah. I love fucking Disney World. Okay. And now I love it even more. I was with my daughter-in-law and 2 of my grandkids yesterday at we had a cool thing, the Lake Worth Street Painting Festival here. And my son and daughter-in-law, they got married at Disney. And so I'm talking about it, I'm like, I don't really like the idea, but it probably would have been a good idea for you and Derek, because you could have had your honeymoon right there at Disney along with the wedding. But I don't know. I just don't think that's a magical place for sex. Okay. Just me, just saying. Even the Pipeman probably would have a problem having sex in Disney World. But for the same amount of money, you could get the Pipeman Groupon. Juan, can you roll that commercial for us? And then the 3 of you can answer, and we could talk about the Pipeman Groupon too as well. Roll it, Juan.
Are you tired of the same old bed and breakfast? Come visit the Pipe Cave, where you can service the Pipeman all night long. And then serve the Pipeman breakfast.
And then get the hell out.
That's the Pipeman Groupon. The Groupon special is normally $1.99, but today it's on sale for $99. Just call into the show right now. 561-623-9429. And you too can have the Pipeman Groupon. I had the Groupon. You should too.
Okay. Christine is losing her shit right now. Okay. But
you know what I'm thinking?
You're going to lose her shit even more. Hold that thought. Rebel, tell her about the women that call in to the show. Rebel, tell her.
Why should I talk? Everybody who's seen
I
this
can imagine.
Women call into the show to buy this fake Groupon.
Okay.
To me, that's 50 Shades of bullshit.
I gotta tell you, the whole time that was playing, I kept thinking, how can I create my own like this? Because you know how many wackadoodles follow me on my show who sexually harass me for my show?
I've had people wait outside the gate for me to get home from the studio.
I want this in my life.
The first time my daughter came to my condo after she moved out, she's like, "So, Dad, how many women do you have come here because of it's the view and everything?" And I'm like, "None, because I don't want any knowing where I live." Because literally, I have come home after my show, left the studio, I shit you not, and somebody was waiting at the gate of the gated place, and I just kept driving.
I want this. I gotta have this.
I can help you have this in your life.
Yeah,
I can help you have this.
We could generate.
We got to go very. I know, right? Well, there is a. By the way, I just want to say on that note, can you put up the QR code for the the Pipeman OF, please, Juan? I don't think Christine knows about this, but there is a Pipeman OnlyFans. Okay. You hit that QR code, people, and you can be on the Pipeman OnlyFans. We just restructured it. I deleted all of 2024's content, and we're putting all new content up now. So now is the time to subscribe to Pipeman OnlyFans. Okay, you can take that away, Juan. Okay, hilarious. So now, we have very little time left. And when I say very low, 30 seconds, in real time and probably like 2 minutes in Pipeman time.
So I
want to hear you.
The freak in me at first thought, oh, hell yeah, fetish, Disneyland, why the fuck not? And then the second they said one-sided mirrors and there were children on the other side, I went, oh,
Yeah, no.
hell no, that's
so
some
you can watch your
skanky.
children while they're roaming around the park with no supervision.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I
It's
want no
disgusting.
two-way window. Are you kidding me?
No
And
way.
Disney, you can be guaranteed is filming all this shit. Okay,
Oh
I'll
my
bet you.
God.
Okay, but Reb, Swamp Nut, real quick, because we know you're a big Disney fan. What's your opinion?
No, I wouldn't pay $200. Not even if you can have 6 people in there at the same time behind them. No, that's what hotels are for. And you go stay at the cheaper hotels, $35 a night on Disney property. I ain't paying $200 for an hour. Who can get anything done in an hour? Especially if you got a group of 6.
Plus, you got to pay
Group
the
of 6
$200.
would take more than an hour.
Yeah,
Yes.
plus you got to pay the
that's why you all pitch
$200
in.
to the $1,000 for the escort too, in addition to the place. Okay,
No
Juan,
Now,
let's hear it.
okay, so here's my thing, right? They said you can make love with a clear view of Cinderella. I'm okay with that. I think that's what
I'd
they
rather
said, right?
make love to Cinderella, but okay, go ahead.
Now, are they providing the people that you're going to be making love to,
No,
or
you gotta bring your own shit
is
with
there
you.
some type of
It's a-
amenity that goes into that, or
It's a BYOB. Bring your own bitch.
This is the perfect opportunity for people to see somebody in the park and go, hey honey, I gotta go to the bathroom, I'll be right back, or I'm gonna go get churros, and then they meet some crazy person that they just met in line.
Well, now I know what to do because I like to go to Disney. So now now I don't feel bad going to Disney by myself. I'll just pick up on another single woman and say, "Hey, did you know about this? Let me show
The price
you."
you paid for that
Here's a
ticket just to
question.
get in. Are you going to pay more money? Are you crazy?
He-
No.
Depends on
Here's a
how hot
question.
she is. It
And who
depends on
cleans
how
up
hot
in
she is.
between that hour? You get the whole
Here's
hour and the
here's a
next person
question.
books.
Here's a question. There's always a line for the rides. How long is the line going to be for these rooms?
For this
Well,
ride.
my question is, no, my
Must be
question
this
is if
tall
you
to
could pay
ride this
extra,
ride.
if you could pay extra for them to dress up as any of the Disney characters.
Oh, would they provide the uniform? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they should have markings on the door frame that says if you got to be this tall to ride this ride.
no doubt. That would be great. I love that. So I do want to say before we go to that, she doesn't even know this yet, but we're gonna have Christine on again, but we're not gonna talk about the same things. We're gonna talk about her psychic energy because psychic
yes.
energy. And we love talking about spiritual and psychic stuff on this show.
On our show too. We love it.
And we'll even have it where we'll have some questions for Christine and she's going to, in fact, you know what I'll do? What I've done with every psychic we've ever had on the show. I am going to be vulnerable and I will let Christine give me a tarot reading on the show.
Ooh.
And a real one. I'll do it just like I do anybody else. Cause if I go to people, I don't tell them anything. Like I used to when I was married, it was the only time I ever took my wedding ring off is if I went to a psychic because I didn't want them to say anything based on that. Because I loved when they would say, "Oh, you're due to get married in June." Oh, really? I didn't know that. But yes, we're gonna have her back on for that. Maybe it'll be next week. I don't know. I haven't even talked to her about it yet, but we'll see. And we'll see how her schedule is. But we got to go now because once again, I'm late. Christine, on your show,
late.
you're never allowed to end late like I am, okay?
I do it all the time.
I know. And let me just tell you, see why she's shushing? Because she gets in trouble for that stuff.
She does. I know. I need to send you emails that said, please forgive the swamp nut because it's my fault.
Okay. Meanwhile, end on time because it affects other people's shows. I just happen to have nobody being affected right now. But I had to make sure that we extended it for you, Christine, because you are queen of the universe in 50 Shades of Bullshit. And by the way, I just got an email before the show, W4CY Radio, which we're broadcasting on right now. What?
An award, and seeing as he's frozen,
Award.
Yeah. There it is.
He froze.
Media and Marketing Award for 2024, W4CY Radio. So keep tuning in. even with all this debauchery. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll be here tomorrow for Travel Tuesday on the Adventures Pipeman. Same pipe channel, same pipe time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, W4CY Radio, W4CY.com. Wednesday is What the Fuck Wednesday, which in 2025, there's a lot to talk about on that subject, okay? Because every second of every day, the pipe man is saying, what the fuck? And I never really said that before, but now I do. So thanks everybody for listening. Everybody, you can't listen to my show ever again if you don't check out and connect on socials with Christine and watch her show. Otherwise, I will ban you. And I can tell Juan to ban you from the show. Okay. So don't play with me. Thanks for listening. Roll it, Juan.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.